This is Investment Perspectives with Brad Kimes. Daily live streaming interactive featuring Mrs. Backup. Subscribe, hit the notification, smash the likes. Now, here's Backup Brad Kimes. Come on in.
Good morning. Welcome back to Investment Perspectives, everybody. I'm Brad Kimes. You can follow me at Twitter right above here. All the information you can find there as well. I wanted to take a quick second, make a video, because I wanted to touch on Stuart Alderati, who is on the general counsel of Ripple, and we're going to get to him in a second. But he made a post late yesterday about the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau believes that Ripple's products could allow banks and credit unions to know the exact final amount that recipients of remittances will receive before they are sent out. And then he says, so do we. I absolutely love the confidence here, and I think it's amazing that he's put this tweet out. But let's drill down a little bit. First of all, who is Stuart Alderati? MCCA Chair, General Counsel to Ripple. Stuart Alderati is a general counsel at Ripple. Stuart brings more than 30 years of legal experience to the role with the expertise in financial services and regulatory affairs. He's been general counsel and a part of the executive leadership team at CIT Group and HSBC North America Holdings. Stuart also was managing counsel at American Express, where he served on the leadership team of the president and the CEO of American Express consumer card business. Stuart began his career in private practice and was a partner with the international law firm LeBeau, Lamb, Green, and McRae, where he specialized in litigation. Now, he's highlighting the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Now, who are they? They enforce the federal consumer financial laws by investigating cases of potential wrongdoing, and then they take action and take people to court. Now, if you look at enforcement, when I go into here, you'll see that a lot of these enforcement actions that they have done are against loan services and or financial services or banks. So they're pretty busy. What I find interesting about this tweet is that we have had many conversations here about the liability issue, because this is a new technology and new protocols. We've had many conversations about the liability issue, about that payment rail, where you have 3 to 4 seconds that between the sender and the receiver, that this money exchange of transaction and settlement is happening on a new innovation and new tech. And I feel like this is one step closer to defining that and having another government agency giving a nod, if you will, to move forward. And it looks like a solution to the new financial system. Now, let's take a look at this, because this is the actual PDF that he shared. And there's many times that Ripple is mentioned in here. I want to focus on this particular one that talks about SWIFT and how it could work together here. Let me just read through this really quickly. The Bureau has continued to monitor the remittance transfer market since the publication of the assessment report and observes that most of these developments continue to progress. Examples include the continued growth and expanding functionality of SWIFT, Global Payment Innovation tracking product, which can increase the amount of upfront information available to sending institutions, and the expansion of major payment card networks. Capacity to support cross-border payments, the continued growth of fintech, non-bank remittance transfer providers, and their further expansion into partnerships and other relationships with banks and credit unions, which allow such entities to tap into the closed network payment system that non-bank remittance transfer providers have developed. 3, the continued growth and expanding partnership of virtual currency companies such as Ripple, which offer both a payment messaging platform to support cross-border money transfers, as well as a virtual currency XRP which can be used to effect settlement of those transfers. Now, moving over here, we get to some highlights of this brought to us by Crypto Wolf, XRP Crypto Wolf. Thank you. All right, let's take a look at this real quick. So this is the front of the document, Bureau of Consumer Financial Protection. And here they have remittance transfer under the Electronic Fund Transfer Act. This rule is effective July 21st, 2020. Now let's keep moving through the information here. Thousands of financial institutions worldwide could receive remittance transfers, with new financial institutions being added to the network or leaving the market on a regular basis. If, as noted above, the different approaches described above share the similarity of replicating some element of a closed network payment system, the approaches likely would need to enroll all or most of the financial institutions into their platforms to offer banks and credit unions upfront certainty when sending transfers, for which they currently rely on temporary exception. It may be costly, excessively time-consuming, or otherwise difficult to enroll all or even most of these institutions, especially the smaller ones. Accordingly, the Bureau proposed in 2019 to provide tailored permanent exceptions that would allow insured institutions to estimate, as applicable, the exchange rate, covered third-party fees, and other disclosure information impacted by the estimation of those amounts, to address compliance challenges that insured institutions may face in certain circumstances upon the expiration of temporary exception, and to preserve consumers' access to certain remittance transfers. Comments received below, and basically what this is laying out is exactly what I just talked to you about. This is really trying to define how this would be looked at between the institutions that are already settling and making payments if you bring in a electronic settlement to this particular situation, which they're going to do. These developments suggest that in the future there may be means by which banks and credit unions could reduce their reliance on estimates, but there are limits on the degree to which the developments can solve the problem. All of the developments apply elements of a closed network payment system to cross-border money transfer sent by banks and credit unions. As discussed in Part 2 above, in a closed network payment system, a single entity generally exerts a high degree of end-to-end control over a transaction. This control generally facilitates standardization and uniformity over terms, conditions, and processes to which participants in a closed network payment system must adhere. The standardization and uniformity in turn can provide a great deal of certainty to all participants in such a system as to terms and conditions that will apply to individual transactions within that system. To the degree banks and credit unions increase their reliance on closed network payment systems for sending remittance transfers and other cross-border money transfers, the Bureau notes that this could result in greater standardization and ease by which sending institutions can know exact covered third-party fees and exchange rates. The Bureau also believes that expanded adoption of SWIFT's GPI product or Ripple's suite of products could similarly allow banks and credit unions to know the exact final amount the recipient and remittance transfers will receive before they are sent. Now, I have to tell you, this is the consumer protection, let me get the proper name here again. I just want to make sure. Enforcement, Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. That's what we're reading, right? We're reading the amendments and the changes made within the Consumer Protection Financial Protection Bureau, a government agency. This is remarkable information that we're looking at here. It really, really is. Okay. And then here is the part that I just read to you about SWIFT because I thought it was so pertinent. I wanted to show you directly from the PDF here. But it is really amazing that we are in this moment. We are watching adoption happen. We are watching the government agencies and regulatory bodies give acknowledgement to Ripple and XRP for a solution, or an addition, if you'd like to say, to the financial system and settlement to transactions cross-border wise. This is going to open the door in a massive way for what they will be able to do. This entire time, we have been watching a very low price of XRP. And I believe when you read documents like this and the things that you see that are said about Ripple and XRP, just in this Consumer Protection Bureau writings here, you start to really understand what has been taking place day to day that we don't get to see. This information, this decision making, this kind of analysis of what Ripple and XRP can provide is not us as retail investors going, we know it's great, you can use it. This is the kind of people, the kind of level of agencies and bureaus that are making the decision and really coming through, and you see the kind of effort that has been taking place that we're not privy to on a day-to-day basis. This is fundamental news about my investment that I want to know and I want to continue to see, because this makes me feel better about where I've gone and the decisions I've made to actually take a position in this. Now, it's not financial advice. I'm just sharing with you that in a market where you could see low total supply of a coin shoot past your investment, make sure you understand the fundamentals of it and that it's not poised for a pump and dump. Make sure you understand that, you know, all the different ins and outs of what you've actually decided to hold and own. Because this is not the kind of news that you see happening for every other coin in the space. And there's a reason for it. And those are fundamentals that I can hold on to. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me. If you like the content, please hit the like and subscribe. We just crossed 14,000 subs, and I can't thank you guys enough. Let's go ahead and make it 15. All right, I'll catch you on the next one. Take care, guys.